Uganda government have responded back to the USA President Joe Biden.
This is what I told them. Whenever they come to me, I say, you please shut up. Europe is lost, so they also want us to be lost. If we are parasitic in the mind of a parasite, there's no way you can fight. That's how you become a prostitute. Because you fear sacrifice, you fear difficulties. Somebody says, I will give you money if you become a prostitute. Those who like easy life end up as prostitutes. And that's what they want us to be. They want Africa to be prostitutes. Do what we don't believe in because we want money.
Africa leaders, they are not afraid to speak their mind. And this is no more like before, when African leaders, they have to keep quiet in whatsoever was concerning them. This is the moment Uganda homosexuality law was passed to bill.
Those in favor say and contra vote nay.
This is homosexuality law that the world never had before.
When you carry out acts of homosexuality through force or duress or undue influence, then the law defines that as aggravated homosexuality. And what is the punishment? The maximum punishment is death.
The Uganda human rights organizations, they promise to fight to appeal for this law.
So when they're making law, the public has to really be involved, more especially people who are concerned. But we saw during the hearings of the committee and during the times the bill was under discussion, that not even a single LGBTI person was basically before the committee to have their views heard. And this is a law that affects them directly.
Same-sex marriage was already illegal in Uganda for so many years, along other 30 countries in Africa. But this time they have to be even more harsh on Ugandans by bringing up this new law. This law of LGBT what is not only based on Ugandans. Actually, there are many African countries who are looking also to do the same thing to the same-sex marriage.
We see that the more states are sponsoring these bills, these hateful legislations, the more the LGBT communities is impacted, and also that affects as well, how other politicians and other countries are following suit. So yeah, this bill, as is signed now into law by President Museveni, is having real consequences on the LGBTQ individuals in Uganda, but also across the region.
The US, Canada, UK, and the EU, they have condemned this new law. And they promise to bring even more sanctions against people of Uganda. This threat of USA sanctions did not start today. In fact, it started from the moment when the parliament had voted for this new law.
The homosexuals are deviations from normal. The Western countries should stop wasting the time of humanity by trying to impose their practices on other peoples.
Like always, the Open Eye Master have to come and threaten the government of Uganda, saying that they'll tell Google and MasterCard to stop working with the Uganda government. Like always, they always do, from day one of processing these bills into law. The pressure from the Open Eye Master was very high, as they are doing with South Africa right now when it comes to the arrest warrant against the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, in his arriving in South Africa. But people of Uganda, they were even more determined.
And I want to appeal to all of you here that we should not accept the intimidation which is coming from the Western world to us as a country.
When all this was happening, the president of Uganda did not just sit and relax. He had to come and respond back to the Western.
Those who like easy life end up as prostitutes. And that's what they want us to be. They want Africa to be prostitutes.
Homosexuality, obviously, just like other doctors agreed, it's more to do with a psychological perspective rather than a medical perspective.
This bill was returned to the parliament, debated and voted again by the parliamentary. But it has come with some threat from the Western to the Speaker of the Parliament.
I was intimidated. We are going to lose out of drugs of AIDS. Aid is going to be cut off. Tourism, trade, export. I said, so what?
I simply wonder, who do they think they are? Nevertheless, the bill is now sitting in the parliament and they had voted it.
Called the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023 was assented to by the President and forwarded to Parliament. So what I have with me here is the assented to copy.
This man here is the one who had brought this new law to the parliament, which he got the support of people of Uganda. Like it or not, we're talking in majority of Ugandan supported for this bill to pass in the parliament. Now he have to appeal to the Western.
This law here was signed by the President of the Republic of Uganda. May I invite America, Canada, Britain, the entire European Union to also cancel the visas of Mr. Museveni. May I also invite them to cancel visas of all MPs except two. Except two. Let all MPs' visas be cancelled.
So he had to ask the Western this question because of what they already started doing by cancelling all the visas that Madam Speaker of the Parliament had applied for. So this NATO country, the first target that they wanted to sanctions was the Madam Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, because she's the one who made it possible for this new law to be voted inside the parliament. So they threatened her and cancel all the visa. Though they took these decisions to cancel all the visa of Madam Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, she did not give up. Instead, she came back in the media to respond back to the Open Eye Master.
That you're going to be blocked from going to America. Do I need to go to America? I was sent here by people of Bukedea. I am what I am because of my people. I am not because I want to go and get a donation. If you're saying there will be no food, I'll go and dig cassava in Bukedea.
Guys, tell me something. Do these people think, do they really think that America is a paradise? Do they think that Europe is a paradise? What do they take Africans? Or maybe do they think that we can't survive in Africa so that we can request for visas to go to their countries?
And that means don't waste your time applying for a visa to any of those countries. I cannot, for example, apply for a visa to the US. Fortunately, I was last in the US in 2009. I had not even become MP. I have never gone back.
He did not leave it there. Instead, he asked for his government to find a new alliance and seek help from the Arab world. At least there, no one will come and tell you that, look, you have to allow the gay marriage.
And I am ready to champion the cause of going to the Arab world to look for donor support. The Arab world, we will go to Saudi Arabia, we will go to Kuwait, we will go to Qatar, we will go to UAE, and this deficit which will be occasioned by these cuts can easily be replaced.
This is the same thing we've been talking about over and over for some times now, that US and its alliance, they love to consider Africa continent as nothing to their eyes. And it is for that reason African countries will keep going one by one, turning our backs against USA and get to find ourselves people who will respect us. Do you still remember what this diplomat from Zimbabwe had said?
The United States must understand that Africans are not going to take it anymore. If you don't treat the Africans fairly, the United States is going to see itself slowly losing ground to China, to Russia.
For now, you want the government to reduce their spends on their unnecessary things.
It is now time that we become frugal, so that monies that could be spent on unnecessary aspects or sectors is redirected to go to health, to go to education and other sectors.
So here, whether they like it or not, this bill has already been voted inside the parliament and signed by the President of the Republic, Yoweri Museveni, though he received a lot of pressure in order for him not to sign. But he had to send also a loud message out there to the Open Eye mass to make them understand that this is no more the same Africa that you guys used to step on. Leave us, let us do our own things. Museveni did not just stop there. Yesterday, he came out on media to send also this message to tell the world on how we get to consider this Western with their behaviors.
This issue of homosexuality is a very serious issue because it is an issue of the human race. So it's not something that you should discuss to be seen, to be what? No, 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 no. You only talk because you are sure of what you are saying. Otherwise, keep quiet. Don't add to the confusion. There is enough confusion already. The problem with the Europeans is that they bring things which are out of place.
Yoweri Museveni described the Western as a prostitute. Was he right or not?
Now, I want to congratulate the honorable members of parliament on your stand on the Ebitingwa. That's what the Banyankwele call what they call homosexuals. It is good that you rejected the pressure from the imperialists. And this is what I told them. Whenever they come to me, I say, you please shut up. Europe is lost. So they also want us to be lost. That's how you become a prostitute. Those who like easy life end up as prostitutes. And that's what they want us to be. They want Africa to be prostitutes.
In return, Biden administration called these new bills as a shameful act. For what reasons? Obviously because they had asked for President of Uganda to abandon not signing these bills, but he insisted he go ahead and sign it. So they feel like they have failed, and that is the reason why you get to see all the threatening, all the hatred that they are putting on people of Uganda. These people, they are trying to impose their will on other country, on something that they have failed already in their country, because this LBGT what in America is still be a serious problem over there.
The bill is one of the most extreme anti-LGBTQI+ laws in the world. Human rights are universal. No one should be attacked, imprisoned, or killed simply because of who they are or whom they love.
Therefore, they went on and encourage or motivate all their alliance to come and support them to put even more sanctions by condemning what is happening in Uganda.
Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau took to social media to strongly condemn the law, calling it appalling and abhorrent. The UK Minister of State for Africa, Andrew Mitchell, said the law was a setback in the fight against HIV and AIDS. The EU Foreign Policy Chief, Josep Borrell Fonteles, called the law deplorable and contrary to international human rights law, while the UN's Human Rights Office said it was appalled by the draconian and discriminatory bill, calling it a recipe for systemic violations of LGBTQI+ rights.
A number of UN agencies, including the High Commissioner for Human Rights and UNAIDS, have said they are appalled by the draconian, discriminatory anti-gay bill that is now passed into law in Uganda. The High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has recently expressed his concern about worsening of laws criminalizing lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people around the world, including in Uganda. He said these laws violate human rights and they lead to violence and they drive people against one another.
Look, all this, it is not because of the Ugandan new law that is being signed by the President of Uganda. Instead, it is a campaign which the Open Eye Master they've been doing so far. They've been running this campaign in Africa for so many years and they never succeed because most of Africans will remain focused and not losing our target or our route from where we came from. So they've been trying to convince African countries in order for them to join them and try to do this same campaign all over Africa. Seeing Uganda president signing this bill into a law, it is not something that they will take it lightly, because recently, not long ago, the vice president of the United States, isn't she was in Africa, and going around, she went to Zambia, she went to Ghana, she went to Tanzania, campaigning, not even to go there to give some money, but she was going around just to campaign for this new law to take place.
As you know, Kamala Harris is coming to Zambia. But from our point of view, we are not happy with her visit. And why we are not happy is because, you know, whilst America is talking about this democracy, they are talking about this democracy, but the American democracy has done more harm than good to a number of countries, especially the third world countries like Zambia. So we don't think that America can champion this democracy, the democracy according to what we want. The Americans superimpose their democracy on us. They superimpose their democracy on us and their social culture as well as other values. We are saying we don't want American superimposition of democracy on Zambia. We as Zambians, though our democracy is young, but we can practice, we can self-rule ourselves. We don't need America to come and tell us how we should rule ourselves. We don't need America. America cannot come and teach us about democracy when their democracy has waged many wars throughout this world, hundreds of wars, and they have killed a number of leaders, African leaders. Some of the leaders that they have killed is like the Pan-African leader, Muammar Gaddafi. They killed him in cold blood using Libyan indoctrinated citizens. Americans gave arms to Libya so that they can kill their own leader. And they are saying that is democracy. How can that be democracy? Honestly, how can that be democracy? They went into Iraq. They killed Saddam Hussein in the guise of planting democracy. And yet, Muammar Gaddafi didn't have even the nuclear wars that they were talking about. And look what has remained of Iraq. Look what has remained in Libya. That is not the democracy we want. We want a democracy.
Things that Africans we need in order for us to be stable and develop our beautiful continent. They are not there to help us. Instead, they are busy focusing on something that I don't know. Guys, this video actually, my point in this video, it is not about whether we support same-sex marriage or not. And this has nothing also to do with you, whether you are one of those people or not. But our point here in this video as Pan-Africans, we just want to make Africans to open their eyes and get to understand what is this all about. Because it's been for some times now that we've been running also a campaign to make Africans, especially youth, to open their eyes and try to understand that we need to assume our own responsibility in order for us to succeed in what we want this beautiful Africa to look like tomorrow. So therefore, we need to bring the truth out. And the truth here is that US with its alliance, they see Africa this small, and all our point of view that we get to give, they don't consider it. If you want to say something, it is them who have to come to approve or disapprove. And if they disapprove and at the same time when you want to approve it, you become their big enemy. That is how they have eliminated people such as Muammar Gaddafi and many more African leaders, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Emery Lumumba, and many more. You know them. They eliminate them because each and every time you go against them, they will have to find a way to eliminate you. I'm not either saying that Museveni is a good president or a fine example for people of Uganda. No, we all know that Museveni is a dictator in Uganda. We all know that. But here, if something is good, we have to acknowledge it. These men have just once again shown Pan-African out of him. Yes, as a dictator, he tried at least to remain focused and not to disappoint African people. Guys, maybe so far you have not understand what is this message mean to the Western.
On the Ebitingwa, that's what the Banyankwe call what they call homosexuals. It is good that you rejected the pressure from the imperialists. And this is what I told them. Whenever they come to me, I say, you please shut up.
You know, for the fact that Uganda, with its president Yoweri Museveni, they signed this bill into law. It is a very big defeat for the Western. Because as I said not long ago, that they've been campaigning. They've been doing all the big campaigns around Africa, so that what they had came with, what they had come to impose it on Africans, it should be considered and be legalized. Each and every African country, they should allow it. And once that happen, it will be something that it will make them, it will actually rejoice them. They'll feel so proud of themselves. They'll know that, okay, we have Africa here. Yes, on their balls. And we get to control them. Every move, every site we take, Africa continent, since we have grabbed them here already, they'll keep on following us. Now, seeing someone as Yoweri Museveni with his parliament, they stood and then they stand against these people with their ideas, and they just want to make them understand that, no, look, even if we are for the same-sex marriage, let us do it on our own and not you come and imposing it on us. So that is the message that we should take in this video, is that Africa, we don't need someone to come from outside there to come and tell us what to do. Whether we are doing something which is right or wrong, let us do it with our own conscience, and not these people imposing us every time, everything. Even when it comes to the elections, have you seen what they are doing in other countries around Africa? That they want to even bring a lot of confusion among Africans, whereby you guys are having the election in your country just because they are against maybe with a certain candidate, whether it's the president, whether it is an opposition leader. They'll go and choose someone that themselves they want, and they'll guarantee this person that we are going to make you a president in your country, as long you are going to do what will benefit us. And once that person, I'm talking about an African, once they agree to whatsoever they will ask them to do, you'll see them, they'll put all the effort. They'll use the media to influence your campaign, to say good about you and criticize whoever who's supposed to be there as other candidates. They'll come and do some dramas. Let's say, for example, maybe you are the one who's in power, and they're supporting maybe one of the opposition political party. They'll send these people on the street. They'll cause some dramas so that they'll film it and they'll go and show the whole world, making you look as a bad person, just in order for the candidate that they have chosen can pass or win the elections. That is what they've been doing. So they do everything to make sure that you bow to them. You have to listen to what they have to say. If you don't do so, they turn you into their enemy number one. You get to see it around the world. We can't even mention what is happening in Russia. We all know what is happening in Russia. There is no such things as it is Ukraine and Russia. No, this is an open war. And these people, they have took an opportunity when Ukraine give them their land as a battlefield. They refuse to go and spoil their buildings. They refuse to go and fight with Russia into their countries. So they were looking for an opportunity to see for a country which will be next to Russia, so that they'll use that country as a battlefield. Let's sit and watch. We'll come back again here. We'll tell you what will happen. By the time when this conflict between Russia and Ukraine get to finish, you will see what Ukraine will be. That's when maybe the rest of the world will understand that these people, they are not to be trusted with. So guys, listening to the Ugandans, now that they managed to sign, they go ahead and sign this bill into a law. Obviously, they were prepared. Even President Yoweri Museveni himself said that you need to be prepared when it comes to this kind of things.
Rearrange our budget If they interfere with our trade, we shall trade with others.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that one is not my, and that's what I was telling you. The other time when I met you at Kololo, I said, you people, you should be ready for a war. And you cannot fight a war when you are a pleasure seeker, if you like a soft life. So war is not for soft life.
Because he knew very well that it was not going to work. These people, they were not just going to sit and keep quiet. They will bring a lot of sanctions. So Ugandan people, they are prepared. You heard Madam Speaker of the Parliament. She said, if you guys think it's all about America or UK or whatsoever, if you want to impose sanctions on us, I'll go and dig cassava.
That you're going to be blocked from going to America. Do I need to go to America? I was sent here by people of Bukedea. I am what I am because of my people. I am not because I want to go and get a donation. If you're saying there will be no food, I'll go and dig cassava in Bukedea.
Do you know cassava? Huh? She said she will go and dig cassava, even sweet potatoes, because that is Africa for us. We have a beautiful land which has a lot of soil. You can go and plant anywhere, even on top of mountain. You're still going to have a very healthy food. And if they think that it is all about going to America or getting visa to the UK, they're lying to themselves. Instead, they're the one who need Africa. And this is another way of Uganda government, and or should I say Ugandan people, they are freeing themselves from this open eye mask. I'll tell you why. Remember, as I give you the example of what this Western does in Africa, they'll come, they'll tell you that we are going to make you a president. They'll send you to commit even some crime, maybe taking guns and go around, do rebellions, killing your people until you get the power. Later on, they'll be the one telling you what to do with your country. They'll be the one who will tell you what to do with the mineral in your country, until when things will go sour between you and them. So, Ugandan, at the moment, you can tell already that their relationship between the Uganda president and this open eye mask is not in the good state. So right now, I believe they are busy working on finding someone who's gonna come and fight the current president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, so that they'll put this person back, and this person maybe might come and cancel all this new law. That's what they usually do in other African countries. Now, if it happened that all the Ugandan, they remain focused and they reject all the offer that they'll have to receive from this Western, do you know what is that gonna be? It is the Western who lost in Uganda. They can put their sanctions, they can cancel the MasterCard, Google, they can cancel anything. It is fine. Ugandan, they'll suffer, but I don't think they'll suffer forever, because they already have a plan to turn to the Arabic countries. And there is a Saudi Arabia, which is also one of the richest countries. Russia, I believe, is there. China, we can't even mention, because China is even there as we're talking right now. Who's going to lose? Isn't it them, the Western? Because they're the one who need gold, diamond, petrol, all the natural resource from Africa. So the moment Africans, they start behaving this way, cutting this kind of relationship, you put sanctions on me, well, I keep also my diamond, I keep my petrol, I keep my gold, my coltans, all these beautiful minerals that God had blessed us with in Africa. I keep it for myself and wait for someone who know my value as African child to work with. If today we're talking about Uganda, who have done so, tomorrow perhaps we are having Rwanda, the next day we are having Senegal, Ghana, Chad, all these countries. Don't you think that we'll finally get our land back? We'll finally get to repossess our authorities into our hands. And no one will come and tell us how to do things around here. No one will come even to try and boss us around, because it will be impossible. So, Ugandan people, my message to them is that they must not feel bad about this. Whatever these people they will decide to do, it will be just for a short period of time. Ugandan people will come out of it, they will survive. We have Zimbabwe. Yes, since 2003, the sanction which was imposed by them, back then we were having Robert Mugabe. He passed on. Someone else came and took power. African leaders, they went and begged to the United Nations for these sanctions which was imposed by them to be removed, but they still don't want to do it. People of Uganda, Zimbabwe, they do suffer, yes, but they have get used to it. It's just a matter of time. You see another big revolutions coming from Africans to destroy everything there in the United Nations. So that is the point here. It's not about whether you are a gay or lesbian or whether you are normal or not, but our point here is just to make African child to understand that it is about time to open your eyes. It is about time to get to see things in a different ways. It's about time to say no to a stranger who have to come and impose on how to do things in your house. That is the most important message we should consider from all this. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was very important that we get to share with you this beautiful message and try to waken you up even more, better to understand different matters that are taking place around Africa continent. Don't leave without giving us your thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and follow us in our social media if this is your first time to watch our videos. For now, let us remain focused. Let us do everything in our power to make sure that tomorrow the victory come back to us. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.